pleasant good morning to St. Kitts, Nevis, to the regional and international diaspora. Good morning. Welcome to today's edition of Island Tea. It is the 24th day of March 2026, just about 2 minutes after the hour of 8. Just to remind you, we're being simulcast on TVC Channel 40, Facebook, as well as YouTube. We're on your FM dial at 98.9. Just to remind you of our local numbers, 466-0989. In the U.S., 1-305-921-4619 or 1-718-285-6984. In the U.K., 0333440065. It's been a while since we've gotten a call from the U.K. For those of you listening over there, I do hope you're having a good day. I know it's lunchtime for you. Enjoy your lunch and continue to enjoy what's left of your day. Rusty, how are you doing today? And Ewan, I hope you're doing fine. That's Ewan over there in the UK. Just to remind you, this morning at 8:30 a.m., yes, it's Tuesday, we will be having Weekly Dose. And today's topic is Understanding Colorectal Cancer and Weekly Dose. On Weekly Dose, we do have our regular doctor, Dr. Natalie Osborne. So listen in, call in, share. Let us have a great Weekly Dose this week. Dave, good morning. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Hortensia. I am blessed, highly favored, giving thanks. What about you?
I am okay, other than the fact that I found out that my alma mater probably came last. Oh my gosh, that hurt. Maybe they didn't come last, but they're just not in the 1, 2, 3.
Yes, that's correct. They weren't last. I think ICCS, they were last.
Ooh, okay.
And, well, they've never really been a strong sporting school, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
They've been strong otherwise, academically, talent-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I could recall they produced the state's color in Anthony Gonzalez, a lawyer, way back when.
Oh.
I'm not certain if they have produced any since, but he stands out for me.
Okay.
Because he's from Halfway Tree. The first time somebody from Halfway Tree would have won it.
Listen,
what's the joke?
It's all about his country, people.
Well, St. Kitts and Nevis, yes.
Yeah, but it's how you highlight it. Halfway Tree.
Yep.
Halfway Tree is heading over there, where SP supposedly the best is. Yeah,
yes.
They're going to get me.
A quiet community, you don't really hear too much about them.
Yeah, that's true.
So that is why I decided to highlight it and give them their props. Of course, that area is covered by the Honorable Samuel Duggins in constituency number 4. So, and Bucky is close by there. He's from the Virchilds Old Road region. And speaking about Bucky, he's one of the persons down who made the 100 to travel to Nigeria, Hortensia.
Yeah, I saw him there.
Congrats to him. I believe in media. When we travel to these places, I remember when we went, St. Kitts and Nevis attended Carrie Festa in 2019 in Trinidad and Tobago. We had a strong media team, and the then Governor General, the late Tapley Seaton.
Yeah, okay.
He actually wrote us a letter commending us and said he thought he was in Trinidad with us because of the amount of stories coming out and the performance he had. And anywhere we went when we got back, anywhere we went in St. Kitts and Nevis, the populace, they were very complimentary of what they saw in the participation and the standards we had in 2019. That stands out because the Governor General would have written to us. And I think when they went in last year, they went, this time it was Barbados. The first time it was held after COVID. And that was a very, very strong showing by the St. Kitts and Nevis team as well. And I know some of the persons who went last year, they are now in Nigeria. Juicy, the reigning Calypso, back-to-back Calypso monarch. He is there as well as some of the drummers. I recognize Harry White Phipps of the Creative Economy, Department of Creative Economy, as well as Siobhan Matthew, who are both drummers. And there are a few other drummers as well. I imagine I saw MJ Byron somewhere in the clip.
Oh, the pan guy?
Yeah, okay. From EBJ Harmonics. So, well, I think over time we'll get to know who the other members of the contingent are. There are some members of, I think it's the Windward Islands, other ministers of government.
Okay.
And I think it's an excellent idea to have sharing, so to speak. We are all one unit, the OECS, the smaller unit, of course, of CARICOM. And information will come out in due course of who attended, I believe, etc., etc. And no doubt, the eventual cost of this trip, the Afro-Caribbean Summit, which is really a good thing, because according to the Prime Minister, and I saw a clip with him saying Nigeria, that region, the fastest developing economy, which is tremendous. And I'm sure persons like Raskolonji and Africa and Joni would like to hear that and things like that.
Oh.
So congratulations to the persons who actually made it.
We didn't hear from Johnny
No, we
yesterday.
didn't.
Is he on the trip?
That's that's a good question. Who
He's
knows?
normally the first one to call. Okay, caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Caller, you there?
Yes, good morning, Biff, man. Cortensi. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, Cortensi, it's ironic that you said earlier that you haven't got a call from the UK in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you something or say something, right? You know, we are now coming to be a complaining society, right? There was a gentleman, I think he used to call from the UK. He had you remember this guy? He always called in and he talked about the problem that he was having.
Yeah.
I
call his name
daughter,
almost
in terms of his,
all the time.
in terms of his daughter getting that citizenship, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. You see, what I would really want to say, right, is that Biff, and you know, Biff, I want to get Biff in on this, right? Whenever we have a complaint, right, and they got addressed, and the solution happened, or the remedy took place, or the problem got solved, right? Just equally important, it is important that we can call in as well and let us know if you got the situation solved.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Wonderful point indeed. I agree with you, Paul, 100%.
And I would, if the caller is listening this morning, I very much would say to him, man, if you got the situation worked out, can you call in and let us know? Because Biff, I have a friend, right? He is exploring the option of still trying to get the UK passport based on whatever situation or whatever laws they had prior to 1983. There's persons on the ground and elsewhere who have the information. They would not bring the information forward to educate us all. They hold on to that stuff, and whenever they get things worked out for their own benefit, they don't really care about the others. And that's not really fair. You know what I'm saying? And what I would want to say about the trip going to Nigeria, you know, it's a real funny one in a way because we're living in some difficult times. But, Biff, what I want to say to you is this. I went to Ghana in 2022. And what I've seen there and my experience was stellar. Man, I almost want to say I enjoyed myself over there more than ever coming home to visit.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what we may say about that contingent that went, the exposure is good. The experience is good. Those persons who on the trip, they will never forget this trip, bro. And we all wish that we can be on that trip as well. Some of us may wish we would want to be on that trip as well. If the opportunity presented itself, we would have probably take that opportunity. So, you know, yeah, it's a debate. The debate's going to continue. But once you go on a trip like that and you experience that, man, it lasts. It stays with you forever. The exposure is great. It's a good idea, yeah, but I don't know. We know some people are going to complain about the spending of the money. But if the money is not spent by me, yo, if you're offering me a trip, like I offered you that trip over to Nevis, Biff.
Yes, I haven't forgotten. I haven't forgotten.
The offer is still on the table.
Appreciate it, thanks.
And if anytime somebody's offering you something, you should grab the opportunity. The opportunity only comes but once in a lifetime. And lastly, what I want to say lastly about that trip is that when Nevis is advocating for fair share is not always about money. Yet, Biff, as you say, as the information comes forward, we will see all of who is went on that trip. And I want to say, man, from the Nevis standpoint, the Prime Minister, if there's no division on that trip, that is not a good look for him. He should have considered persons from Nevis as well. And let that
a few persons from Nevis went.
Equitable. Yeah, I mean, I stand corrected.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I stand corrected. But let it be an equal amount in terms of our fair share as well. And I'll leave it there.
Okay.
But you get the idea what I'm saying? Let it be
Yes,
an
indeed,
equitable
caller.
share of divisions as much as to get the chance to go on that trip.
Okay.
And I'll leave that there. You guys have a good day. Thanks.
You too.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I thought. Caller, go ahead. You're live in Island T. Good morning.
Lost the caller. When Burl said equal amount, I think I have a different view. Normally, you'll probably give up Nevis about a third or whatever because of the size and because of the population per se.
Mm-hmm.
And to say 50% or 40, 60, I think that'll be tough. More 25, 75, 30, 70, that sort of
So
thing.
why it can't be 50-50?
Because of one day, we are 68 square miles, they are 34, which is 50% off. You add the two of them, 100 and something. So they are a third of the geography, the size. And population-wise,
Real technical boy.
population of 55,000, they have about 13,000, which again is about 25%. So 25-30%, I believe, a third. That is the formula we used too when we were going to Carifesta.
Oh, okay.
In terms of the contingent, etc., etc.
Okay. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Yeah, okay, Biff. I want to just come back in and, try to get on the same page with you. Remember, I started off by saying the fair share, right?
Yes, sir. So,
if you interpreted the equal share as being 50-50, I just want us to get back on the same page and, revise that. If I misspoke or whatever the case may be.
Okay,
what
I
I just
understand.
wanted to mean was that the equitable share. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I hear you, bro.
Yeah, if Nevis is due 3 people to go, well, let it be 3 people. Like
Okay.
Consensus said, there's some persons that went. I just wanted to clarify that.
Fair enough,
If
I
7
appreciate
people
that.
to go from St. Kitts and 3 from Nevis, well, let it be like that. That's what it's meaning.
Wonderful,
And I just wanted to clarify.
We're on the same
Yeah, so
page,
thanks a
bro.
lot, man, Biff, and thanks for hearing me, man. Thanks.
Yes, no problem, and thank you very much for opening the call-in, as it were. The first caller. And I expected, even without hearing the figures, I expected divisions to be there. And with 100 persons, I expected about at least 15 persons to be going.
Okay.
So, but I'm hoping, I don't know, but I'm hoping the premier would be in that as well, in the contingent.
I am not quite sure because I see this popular blogger has up that they didn't even invite him. I don't know, yes?
I believe that will lend itself beautifully for St. Kitts and Nevis. We are a federation.
They say St. Kitts Nevis.
And not St. Kitts.
And.
St. Kitts and Nevis. And I think as
boy.
much as possible we need to involve divisions in things like these when it comes to a federal situation. Because even, like I said, even with Carifesta we did that, and that has been an issue in the past when it comes to this representation.
So Obi made fun of the fact that Curtis Garfield, the form, he said, let me make sure I have his, I can't read the stuff because it's not good. Caller, good morning, you're live on Island T.
Grand Rising Hortensia in Troy.
You
Good morning,
calling
sir.
us
How are
from
you?
Abuja?
Sorry?
Are you calling us from Abuja?
Abuja?
Yeah.
No. no.
I didn't hear you
I'm not in that
yesterday,
circle.
and so I thought you went. I mentioned it this morning on the radio. So-
Yeah, I heard the end tail part of it. No,
Okay.
I'm not in that circle, Hortensia.
All right.
I got up this morning and I going through my, my platforms to check out what's happening, and I came across this coming out of Kenya. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio thanked President Ruto for his public condemnation of Iranian aggression against Gulf states. I think William Ruto stated that if any Kenyan get killed in this war, Kenya will retaliate. Now, when I read that, right, I look at Kenya, I look at William Ruto, and I ask the question: if Kenyans got unalive going through this war, what military power does Kenya have to retaliate against Iran? And, the word sacrifice came to mind. Because, guys, make no mistake, we are being sacrificed in all that is happening. We are being sacrificed, and our politicians are in on all of this. I think yesterday, Quinn played a clip about the unaliving of Sudanese in Sudan that the world is silent about. But you know what I find strange, Cortensia and Troy? The narrator on the clip that Quinn played, the voice, and I stand to be corrected, it sounds like a Caucasian. Now here we are, Journey, Africa, and all the other voices who are talking about ourselves being knowledgeable to our reality. But when we hear it from our own, it somehow just floats over the heads of our listeners. But then we gravitate to a different voice. Now, why is that? Why is that, guys? And then when I reflect on the scripture that says, he came to his own and his own received him not. Now, I am one voice, and I'm going to keep at what I'm doing, guys, because I am awakened. I am aware of my awareness. It is staggering for me that people are still just accepting this as this is what's supposed to be. This is the world we are in. I mean, I said that we are fulfilling Scripture, but we can alter Scripture. We can alter the Scripture. Because it is our reality. Now, I'm aware of the time in Cortensia and Troy, but just let me say this quickly. Nature is our teacher. The spider doesn't build a web without knowing that the spider have the web that is stored in its abdomen. But yet the spider can craft a web for its survival. When you look at the ant, how they construct their hive, can't we learn from nature? But they tell us that this is the word of God. When nature is our teacher, this is not Journey being mock of the scriptures, guys. Because the scripture gave us ready-made answers, and we are stuck in these ready-made answers. Let me ask you guys something quickly, Cortensia. I know you're a decent person, you and Troy, and most of the listeners. When Jesus said in the scripture, greater works ye shall do, if you believe. Look at the Christian community. Is any one of those Christians today, Gregory and all of those, can they do greater works? Not only that, are they doing what Jesus did? Are you seeing them going around washing the feet of the poor? Are they doing any of those things? Or they just like to dress up on a Sunday and on a Wednesday and go in a building and make noise. Come on, guys. We have to move away from European vomit that they put in a book called Inspired Word of God. Because this biblical character that we feel like it's the it's the universal God, it is not our God. Because had it been our God, now I'm going to finish now, guys. I'm going to just point two things out. The biblical God said to Cain, after Cain killed Abel, had you been my son, you wouldn't have killed your brother. You are of your father. What does that mean? And the other one is, God said, ye shall have no other God beside me. Why if God is the universal God saying, ye shall have no other God? Why did he didn't say, there are no other gods beside me? What does that mean? I'll leave it there, guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
See some.
Deep as usual, cartens, yeah?
Yeah, but I know Greg is gonna come next to defend, and as Greg says, sometimes. See, it's. Anyways, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna leave it. Yeah. I don't fight Bible. I don't fight politics. To each his own. Yeah.
Well, he did say about the gods. I think it was the Israelites when they were moving out of Egypt. They were displeased with how things were going, from what I'm remembering.
Yeah.
And some of them already started worshipping other gods, foreign gods, as it were.
Yeah, and some of them even were thinking, time to turn back, because where we going?
Exactly.
And then when they got there, they still grumble. Although he was feeding them for tea, breakfast, and dinner. You see, we really can't please us human beings.
Human beings, yeah.
Once blood flowing through our veins and we're alive, we are, listen, we are a task to deal with.
Indeed, we are, and it's not just Kittitians and division. And I'm remembering,
all peoples. I never said, I never specified all peoples.
And I'm remembering the late Nelson Mandela, who said, do you prefer to be a well-fed slave or a hungry free man?
Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Just to remind you, we have to break for weekly dose at 8:30. Go ahead.
Yes. I'm going to be quick as possible. Greetings to everybody once more in the name of Jesus Christ, the only Savior of sinners from their sins and from hell, by the gospel only, through faith only, according to the word of God only. And Jesus Christ, the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, I'm going to say very quickly, I think Johnny got wrong, so a lot of things wrong. I always stress we're supposed to read in context, read everything in context.
But how do you feel when he says we are not going out and witnessing?
Well, that's what I call it. And like I said, we should read in context everything that we read, because context matters, context determines the meaning. When Jesus Christ said, these works you shall do and even greater, he wasn't speaking to any individual, he was speaking to the church as a whole, when he was speaking to the disciples and that sort of stuff. And the church as a whole, from its beginning, has been doing the things that Jesus Christ have done. You read it in the Bible, raising dead. God, through the church, raising dead, healing people and that sort of stuff. And the greater works the greater works is these, that the church have been reaching more people than Jesus Christ reached in the church evangelization. So the church as a whole have been doing the same works as Jesus Christ did from its beginning, as we read in Acts, and even greater, because the church has been winning more people and preaching to more people than Jesus Christ ever reached. So like I said, we ought to always be reading things in context. Context is what kill a lot of people, because they do not consider the context. Anyway, thank you.
All right, thank you, Greg, as usual. And we'll take... Okay. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Basta! We run things are on we. Basta! Basta! Living color, do it differently. Basta! Basta! Legend in charge, like for the party. Basta! Basta! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste, Basta, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Basta,
Value Match IGA Blue Tag Special.
Running March 19th to April 1st.
Nabisco Chips Ahoy are just $17.99. Kraft barbecue sauces, $9.99 each. Nissin chow mein and stir-fry noodles, just $5.49. Progressive soups, $13.99. Chawani Greek yogurt, just $5.69. Culinary Circle pizza, $24.99.
And now our value deals. Extra liquid laundry detergent, $12.99. Essential everyday pasta, $4.99. Almond braise, almond milk, $16.99. Speed stick deodorant, $9.99. Essential everyday dry tortilla, $8.99. IG or essential everyday cereals, $10.99. Shop smart, shop value mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en
Value Mart.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
And we are back on LNT just about 31 minutes after the hour of 9. So, good morning and welcome to Weekly Dose, your trusted source for health education. I'm your host, Hortensia, and today we're talking about a very important topic, colorectal cancer. Joining us is General Surgeon Dr. Osborne. Good morning, Doc.
Hi, good morning, Hortensia. Thanks for having me.
Our
and
pleasure.
Good morning, Troy.
I'm doing good.
It's always
Good morning, Doc.
great to be here with you guys.
All right, so we're going to dive right into it. As I told you earlier, don't ignore your gut. Understanding colorectal cancer was the topic for today. So let's start simple, Doc. What exactly is colorectal cancer?
Well, good morning again. It's always important to highlight the importance of this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And yet again, I come inspired to talk about this. So about a couple weeks ago, A 60-plus-year gentleman presented to my office with his family, and the patient complained of having abdominal bloating. He was grossly distended. He said he hadn't passed stool for more than a week, and he hadn't passed gas for about 5 days. He had seen a couple other physicians, and he said he had an x-ray done, but obviously something was wrong with him. He also gave me the history that he's been losing weight. Okay, and along with that, he said, prior to him not being able to pass stool at all, he started having changes in his stool pattern. He realized he was going less and less, and the fecal matter, the stools, were becoming smaller and more thin-like. So there was some significant change, and a light bulb went off in my head, and I examined him. His belly, he's a slender gentleman, and his belly is grossly distended. So I knew immediately something was wrong. We admitted him, and the following day we proceeded to take him to the operating room, and he indeed was obstructed. He had a tumor on the left side in the colon, and it was completely blocking. So everything above the tumor was so dilated. Good, though, we were able to resect the tumor or remove it and close back the colon. He did well and went home, was a very, very pleasant individual, very, very kind, and the family was very supportive and very grateful. But I bring this topic because we're seeing more often than not in the last couple of years, the patients with colorectal cancer that I've had to work on is almost always in an obstructive situation, meaning that the person presented late. And in the Caribbean, we're seeing more and more of these late case presentation. So colorectal cancer is nothing more than a cancer or tumor, abnormal growth that occurs in the rectum or in the colon. The rectum is the end part of the GI tract. Yes. We know that it's essentially responsible for absorbing the fluid and making the solid stool, okay? We know that we call it the large bowel, we call it the colon, so its main function is to reabsorb most of the fluid, so it goes back into a circulation, forms a stool that is later excreted. All right, so we know that colorectal cancer can happen anywhere in that part of the colon or inside the rectum. And it can be devastating. It's a very common cancer.
Is this something we should be really worried about, Doc?
Yes, it is, because it is one of the most common cancer worldwide. It's actually the third most common cancer after breast cancer and lung cancer. In 2022, there were 1.9 million persons diagnosed worldwide from the World Health Organization with colorectal cancer, and there were over 900,000 deaths, okay? And we've observed also that the incidence is rising much more frequently in persons under the age of 50. All right, especially in middle and developing countries, such as our country, all right? It's the second leading cause of death. So we really have to be worried and concerned about it, and we're seeing quite a lot of cases of colorectal cancer.
Wow. I know you mentioned this just now, but what about in the Caribbean? What are our numbers looking like down here?
Here's what's going on in the Caribbean, Hortensia and Troy, is because persons don't access health care enough. One of the things we've observed, and I've heard other physicians speak about it, that persons will come when the thyroid or the mass in the neck is so large. Person will come when the gallbladder is so infected. Person will come when the hernia is so large. Because we have a sense of delay in our community. Oh, it's not bothering you, leave it. And so our countrymen and women in the Caribbean region, we don't get our routine screening tests. And this is why you and I are here weekly to kind of promote these health checks. So oftentimes our people present in a late stage like this patient. And off the top of my head, I could give you 3 names back to back to back if I were to, of persons I've had to deal with under my care in that stage where the tumor grew so large it obstructed the colon and caused that blockage in the colon, leading to an emergency-like treatment. It leads into emergency treatment.
Okay, so what causes colorectal cancer?
Well, like any other cancer, Hortensia, we've spoken about breast cancer and other cancers. Is there any particular one cause? No, there are lots of different factors that we speak about when we talk about these diseases. And with colorectal cancer, it's no different. We've got things like advancing age. You're not going to come and see colorectal cancer in a 15-year-old. Very rare. It's an advanced age. We're talking about persons who tend to have genetic risk factors, because there are certain genes, just like in breast cancer, that can predispose an individual for developing colorectal cancer. Though rare, these genes do exist. There's family history if you have a strong family history. We speak about diet in our community, and oftentimes we have to realize that culturally our food has changed. We're using a lot more processed food, and there are things that we're consuming that we know that studies are finding that diet can influence that. Persons who have a diet high in red meat and processed meats, all those sausage, bologna, spam, all those kind of things that we eat a lot of. Persons who are obese. Remember we said you can always put obesity there, so it's best that we can lose individuals. We can all lose some weight. So lack of activity, smoking and alcohol use, you can always put there as well. And if you have a personal history of having polyps in the colon, it is understood that most colorectal cancer, the cancer starts as a small flesh-like thing. We call that a polyp, Hortensia. And if not attended to, that polyp stays there and it grows and it changes because there are genetic factors that cause it to change, and it develops into this cancer.
I see conditions like ulcerative
colitis and Crohn's.
disease.
These are two inflammatory bowel syndrome. I didn't want to talk about them in particular because they're complex, but if you hear of inflammatory bowel syndrome, IBS, these are two of the main ones that we talk about that cause changes, inflammation, abscesses inside of the bowel, and these increase your risk of developing colorectal cancer as well too.
So you mentioned we can all use some exercise, and we know that is true as a people. So does lifestyle play a big role?
Yes, because we talk about the risk factors. We call them modifiable risk factors. You can change your age. Okay, you can change your gender. It is seen slightly more commonly in males. But what can you change? You can change your weight, you can change your diet, you can change your habit of smoking or drinking alcohol, because we know that these are risk factors. Okay, so these are the things that we can change, so we encourage each individual to change them.
Let's talk about symptoms. What should people watch out for?
Yes, like my patient, because we have our greatest lessons from individuals and real cases. The patient said that he had what we call change in bowel habit. He would not have given me that term, but he said he realized that he was the stool wasn't coming as frequently as it usually did. When we speak about change in bowel habit, what does that mean to the everyday person? If I used to go to the restroom every day and I realize I'm going every other day or every 2 days now, that's a change. If I'm having sometimes diarrhea, and then sometimes I feel like I'm constipated as such as, that's a change. So you realize your normal pattern has changed. Another important thing is that having rectal bleeding. One should never have blood coming from the anus. So if you have a blood coming from the anus, that is something that should be of concern. And unintentional weight loss. I'm not exercising. My diet hasn't changed, but I'm losing weight. That should be a red flag that I need to check this out. I need to see what's going on, because something is obviously odd if you're not doing anything at all to lose weight and your weight is going down. And we talk about fatigue and anemia. Lots of times patients present with anemia with colorectal cancer. What does that really mean? Because the tumor is on the right side, very far from the anus. So you're not going to see bright red blood. You're losing the blood, but it's mixed in with the stool. Okay? That's why your doctor may ask you to do a fecal occult blood test looking for traces of blood inside of the stool. But that person then present with us, and we had a case about 3 years ago where a young lady presented. She was very pale, very weak, very tired, and we realized that her blood count or her hemoglobin was very low. And then we proceeded to do a colonoscopy and found that she had a colon cancer on the right side. So these are things that we're looking for. But your main symptoms, I want our audience to keep in mind, and Troy, I need you to keep this in mind as well. So when you're talking to individuals, if they tell you they've had a change in their bowel habits, they've been losing weight, and they have any bleeding from the rectum, we cannot dismiss it and just say, oh, it might just be a hemorrhoids, or hemorrhoids, it may just be that my stool was hard. So we have to do it. That unexplainable weight loss, you can't explain why I'm losing weight, that's very important.
Boy, are these symptoms always obvious?
Well, that's the thing. And that is why we see a lot of patients in the Caribbean who present in late stage where they have a complication of that cancer. That is exactly why we speak on this, because sometimes the symptoms aren't that obvious unless you're really in tune with your bodies. Some persons naturally just go to the restroom twice a week. That's their pattern. So they may not think too much of it. Some persons may have been diagnosed before with hemorrhoids, so they're assuming that the bleeding at this current time is as a result of the hemorrhoids. And so persons can mistakenly not realize it, because oftentimes in the early stage of the disease, Cortensia, you may not have any symptoms that stand out.
So let's talk about diagnosis. How is colorectal cancer diagnosed?
Well, the gold standard is having a colonoscopy. You remember we spoke about cervical cancer, and we speak about breast cancer every time. Yeah. These are the three diseases that have screening tools and screening modalities that can help. And so the gold standard is to get your colonoscopy and to ensure that anything inside the colon, because it can visualize if there is a polyp and you remove that, anything that is abnormally seen, it can be addressed before it becomes a cancer.
What exactly is a colonoscopy?
Oh, yes, because we talk so much about it, there may be persons who do not understand what a colonoscopy is. Mm-hmm. It is nothing more than a thin, flexible tube that is passed via the anus, and it has a camera on the tip of the tube, and you're looking and maneuvering throughout the colons, and you're looking for any polyps or any changes on the inner layer of the colon wall. And you want to see the entire colon get from one end to the other to have a complete colonoscopy. And it's a procedure that we do very often here. So it's not anything that you need to fly overseas and get it done that we don't offer it here. We offer it here quite well. I do most of the colonoscopies here on the island. And it's simply done, and you go home right after, and you can make a diagnosis. We can make a diagnosis immediately. If there is a polyp, all polyps are removed and sent to be tested.
Okay. This sounds quite intimidating. Why is it so important?
We talk about it the last time. Cortensia, we had a discussion last week. Now I'm remembering it. Yeah. What did I tell you that you need to get?
You got the doc?
Yeah. I just remembered it.
I was going to tell you afterwards. I have my appointment already.
I
was going to tell her afterwards. She burst the bubble.
I burst the bubble because I just realized that So why it sounds so intimidating? People think everything is scary, everything I should be afraid of, but it's not. Mm-hmm. It is a routine procedures that are done on a daily basis around the world, and it's a safe procedure, but it helps to save lives. So,
okay, caller, go ahead for the doc. Your Life and Weekly Dose.
Hi, good morning. Hello?
Good morning.
Yeah, I have a question for the doctor.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, my question is, speaking of colonoscopy, that solution that you drink, why you have to drink it? Oh my God, that tastes so terrible. I was asking my sister the other day, I wonder if you can drink a little sugar with it. That thing tastes so bad.
Okay.
And another thing, Doc, I'm scheduled for one sometime, and I dread doing it. I did it before, and the procedure itself is not bad, but I don't like drinking the solution. It tastes terrible. They can't find another way to give something other than the drink.
Okay, all right. Thanks for your comment and your concern. All right. Remember, I emphasize a little bit of discomfort for a world of good.
Yeah.
He's talking about the she's talking about the laxative that the person drink. The idea is to clean out the colon. You cannot see, the camera cannot see in a colon that has fecal matter in it. And naturally, our colon has fecal matter inside of it. So what would happen? So if you were to not prepare the bowel, you cannot see, the camera is blocked. So that we have to cleanse out the colon quite well so that you're able to see. So you take 2 bottles or you drink some of the laxative the day before the procedure, and you go off quite often to the bathroom, and you're not allowed to eat any solid foods because it's important that you visualize the inner lining, which is called the mucosa of the colon. I know it doesn't taste pretty. Sometimes I encourage person, you can mix it with some juice. Just a little bit of, once it's a clear fluid, you can do that. A little apple juice to kind of cut some of the taste, because I know it's a little bit,
she said
to make it a little bit more palatable.
Okay. What about the enema? Couldn't that work?
No, enema cannot work to prepare the colon. And enema only gets to like the distal part of the rectum and that latter part. So it's not going to clean out the entire colon at all. All right? So that is it. So that colon has to be clean. Normally our colon is collapsed. The walls are collapsed. And the fecal matter is just going through there. The objective of the colonoscopy is to see the entire wall clearly. So that cleansing you get. Persons would say that they feel lighter after having the preparation.
Caller, go ahead. You're live on Weekly Dose.
Yes, good morning. I love the dog. Let me give my assurance on the colonoscopy. I've had it done already, and I'm about to go and make an appointment for another one. I think everyone should get it done, man and woman. Woman do their mammogram. But the colonoscopy is not a hard procedure. And just like you said, the colon has to be cleansed in order for the camera to pick up any palate or any kind of abnormal situation in your colon, which could be cancerous and then be treated should it be. So it's not a fear. Yes, the tube go up your anus. Some people fail to think it's a funny thing, but that's what it is. You know, you go up your anus and they see what is inside, and they can save your life. So let no one hold off any appointment in how to get done.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's my contribution to colonoscopy.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
caller.
you so much, caller. Thank you. I'm happy that I had support from this gentleman, because oftentimes we talk about these screening studies. People come back with little opposition. Oh, it's painful. Oh, it's uncomfortable. I often emphasize 20, 30 minutes of discomfort is for a lifetime of safety, of health, of wellness. So it doesn't matter. What matters is if you're on the other side and you have that obstructive symptoms because you have an advanced colorectal cancer.
Oh boy. Okay, caller. Okay, we still have a caller? Okay, caller, go ahead for the doc. You're live on Weekly Dose.
Good morning. I just wondered, smoking seems to be the cause of so many ills. In the case of colon cancer.
Okay, go ahead.
Right. What I could understand alcohol, because that goes through there. But what is it? How does smoking get associated with the colon? And we've been told, or there's some discussion about things like eating microwave foods and those kinds of things. And you mentioned the processed food. Is it the chemicals in those things? Is that microwave change the makeup of food? For instance, you've been told you're not supposed to eat burnt toast and all of that. I thought that whatever you put in the body and it rejects, like plastic rice or those kinds of things. It would just pass through as roughage or something like that. Okay, so what I just wondered what is it about those things that actually cause the cancer? And finally, is it recommended that you do regular clean out? Should it be left to the natural body processes to do that? Or do you actively have to do something, some kind of intervention to do that because it's a good idea to clean out the colon?
All right, thank you, caller, for your questions. Doc, you got that?
Okay, I know you normally make a quick note.
Shouldn't we do a regular clean out? And basically, doesn't the body pass everything? He mentioned plastic rice, the microwave, harming foods. Those were the two that I got.
No, he started by asking about smoking.
I was only telling you about the two that I got, because then I realized he was going with more.
Yeah, so he started by talking about smoking is a well-known carcinogen. Okay. All right, so what smoking does, it gets into the bloodstream and it gets at a cellular level and it changes the DNA. That's simply put. So that is why smoking is involved in a lot of different cancers. That is well established through science. We recommend that no one smokes. There is no real good from it ultimately. Yeah. It was well established back, remember all the campaigns back in the 70s and stuff and the tobacco companies in the first world countries were really upset because you had to put a label about smoking can cause lung cancer, and studies throughout the years have found that it does contribute to breast cancer, to cancer of the esophagus or the feeding tube, and colorectal cancer. Well established, don't smoke. Processed foods, because you're talking about unhealthy foods versus healthy foods. These processed bolognas and stuff, these are rest of the animals, the leftover parts that are unhealthy, and they bunch them together, they mash them up in their machinery and stuff. What happens when you eat a vegetable? It goes through your body and it does what we call like a sweeping motion. It pushes you quicker. When you have things that are processed and unhealthy, they sit and they're much more stagnant there, and they can cause changes over time. So that's why we talk about a diet that is rich in fiber and fruits and vegetables, and a diet that is low in all these processed and unnecessary canned foods. Persons, we know that, who are from countries that have less processed food, they tend to have less cases of colorectal cancer. It is seen more in developing countries or developed countries because of the dietary changes. We know that those are strong factors.
Should we do a regular clean out?
No, it depends on what are you cleaning out. If you exercise, if you eat well, there's no need for any regular clean out. And I encourage patients, because after patients have had their colonoscopy, say, the doc, I feel that I felt good, I felt that clean out. Can I use this ever so often? I said, no, it is not for that, because of course anything can have its associated risk factors. So I don't recommend that we take these laxative to do any regular clean out. If your diet is healthy, you drink enough water, you would have a regular bowel motion, and that would be your clean out. So there is no need for any extra special clean out. Our forefathers who lived to 100 never had any clean out.
Okay, so when should you get a colonoscopy? Before we take the calls, just let me ask this question.
Yeah, you should get a colonoscopy at age 45, and that's a very big, important one. We talk about the rise in colorectal cancer. In these later days, we're seeing persons younger and younger. Initially, the screening age began at 50, but now it is dropped to 45. So once you hit 45, whether or not you have any symptoms, get your screening colonoscopy. Go ahead.
Caller, go ahead. You're live on Weekly Dose. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, cuz.
Hi, Ella.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay. No, but you were talking about the cleaning. I think when the person was asking about cleaning, you remember when we're small, with parents and grandparents used to give us a dose of salt. At least before school open, you get a dose of salt to make you go off. That's how we used to get it clean out when we were small.
Yes.
And I would say give you some worm medicine.
Yes. Yes.
And you were talking about the when you're doing the test that it's a little discomfort. Just a question. They don't put y'all to sleep down there in St. Kitts? Because when I did mine, I remember getting my injection, and after that time I think it was over and I ain't felt nothing. I was like, it's finished already?
No, yes. So thanks for your question, Ella. How are you doing, my cousin? Okay, so
I am good. God bless.
Yes, we do. It's done under what we call conscious sedation. So our patients are done in the hospital, just like in any other country. You come in, you do your bowel prep the day before, you come in, and lots of our patients who've had it done can testify to that. And you get into the operating room, you're given an IV, and your medication goes through that. We were talking about the discomfort. It was mostly doing the prep, okay? Because you're given medication, most persons don't even remember. They wake up and they say, oh, is it over? And that's exactly what she spoke about.
Yeah.
This thing about clean out. Remember the old days? Yeah.
Before we go back to school,
the bitters and worm medicine, castor oil. Yes, that one. My daddy used to threaten us that he was going to give us turtle oil. He had a large bottle under the house. We had a basement that was never really fixed up. So we used to throw things under there, and I could visualize that bottle, a huge bottle. And Daddy kept saying it is turtle oil, and he was going to give it to us. And every time we were naughty, he threatened us with that turtle oil. I wasn't sure what oil it was, but it was there for a while. And so that was the idea. But if you don't have any worms or parasites, there's no necessity for any clean out in particular. That's why I said if you eat well, you exercise, you have a healthy diet, your stool would come out naturally, and there's no reason to have any type of clean out. But historically we grew up with some of these traditions.
All right. So you said we should get our first screening at 45. What about people at higher risk?
Yes, so if you know that your mama had colorectal cancer, and she developed it at age 50, you're recommended to get it 10 years prior, which would be age 40, because you have no family risk, okay? And so that's what we always say. If you have a history of polyps, you may need to get your colonoscopy more frequently. For example, a perfectly normal colonoscopy. I had my first colonoscopy in 2019. I'm divulging information, And so I'm due for my next colonoscopy in 2029.
Yeah, 10 years apart.
10 years, because I had nothing found. Not even a polyp. There was nothing abnormal found. My partner went and had his colonoscopy when he was 50. They found several polyps. There were like 3 polyps. They were removed. He needs to go back in 5 years' time. There's a difference because they found something abnormal. You may recommend it in rare cases earlier if the person has symptoms, because you are wondering, what if we did not see something in particular? But typically it is 10 years. It is shorter and shorter if there was an abnormal finding. Polyps should not be there, so you want to then recheck in a shorter time.
Well, I think we already spoke about this one, because it says many people avoid colonoscopy because they're afraid.
Yeah, there's nothing to be afraid about. Yeah. You're getting sedation. You're being monitored by the anesthesiologist. That's the doctor who puts you to sleep. We have our nursing. We have our team there. So you're not abandoned at any moment. And so it's not. Everybody gets a little bit of jitters for any kind of procedure, but it's a safe procedure. Okay.
All right. So if someone is diagnosed, what happens next, Doc?
Well, if someone is diagnosed with a colorectal cancer, of course, the gold standard is to have the colon or that area of the colon removed. So, of course, you start by working and prepping the patient, getting all your studies. You can do your CT scans, your screening studies, so you're ensuring that you can stage the disease and then see if the cancer has spread to the liver, for example, or you have spread to the lungs. So that's part of your workup, making sure that the blood works are excellent, and you bring that person in, and that person can have the segment of the colon resected and reattached.
Ooh. All right, caller, go ahead. You're live on Weekly Dose.
Hi, Hortensia again. Grand rising to the doc. I just want to thank the doctor for the information shared. My question is, Doc, how long should it take for the stomach after consuming a meal? Well, let's say like a solid meal, we consume a lot of meat and chicken, but how long does it take for the stomach to digest and the body to absorb the nutrients in the food, and then the stomach would just pass out that waste? How long should it take? That's my question. Thank you.
Thank
you, caller.
So, well, I think he said stomach, meaning I think he was talking about the whole GI tract, but for the stomach itself is a separate organ. I know patients will come and say, oh, doc, my stomach hurts, and they mean the entire belly. But the stomach itself is a separate organ. Its job is to churn or break down the food. Think of your stomach as your blender. You put in the food in it, and it blends it, and it makes that puree-like substance. We call that chyme. And then after that chyme is made, it is emptied out into the small intestines, okay? And it goes to the small intestine, and our good stuff are taken up. We got things like our calcium or potassium, all our micronutrients and all our good stuff that we need, they're absorbed and taken up. And then it gets down to the colon, and the colon is responsible for pulling up the water and making that what the body does not need, it's passed out as waste. The stomach itself from emptying depends on what do we eat. Sometimes it may take a little bit longer based on the food. He spoke about meats. The average emptying time for the stomach, it is 4 hours. So between 4 and 6 hours, your stomach should be emptied. And the stomach that I speak of is just that segment there that churns the food, okay? Do you understand that?
Yeah, I got you.
And so a full digestion of a particular meal, it's roughly 8 hours.
Okay. All right, caller, go ahead. You're live on Weekly Dose. Good morning. Caller, you could turn down your radio.
Yes, please. Last question. I'm asking for an explanation. I know it, but I think I would like the general public. What is the connection between the palate, if you build found pallets in your stomach? People complain about their pain in their belly, which is actually in the intestine. What does that have in connection with diverticulosis? And the next stage from diverticulosis is diverticulitis. I'm not going to go there. I'll leave it for the doctor to explain it, because a lot of people might be facing this issue and they don't know. They're just complaining about a stomach pain. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So, yet again, when he speaks of the stomach, I think he's talking about the entire abdomen. From a healthcare provider perspective, the abdomen is a huge landmark. And there's several different organs inside our abdomen, okay? He spoke about the polyps. You generally don't have pain from polyps. Polyps are incidental finding. You cannot tell if you have a polyp unless you do a colonoscopy, whether it's a direct colonoscopy or virtual colonoscopy. So they're going to be painless. He's introduced another finding that we can have during a colonoscopy, where he spoke about diverticular disease. Diverticular disease is nothing more than little outpouching inside of the colon. When you're looking inside via the camera, they look almost like little potholes. Just visualize that, little holes or indentation. And they're associated with blood vessels. Those are formed because of increased pressure. If you are eating poorly, for example, you eat lots of bread, lots of rice, not enough fiber food. So the colon is a muscle as well too. It has a muscular layer, and it has to push that food along. And anytime you have to increase pressure to push that food along, it increases the pressure inside the colon, and it forces at any weak point those pouches to come out. And those pouches can then become infected, giving what we call diverticulitis, and commonly, because they're associated with a blood vessel, they can lead to bleeding. Okay, that's a separate topic from colorectal cancer. I'm re-emphasizing most colorectal cancer are said to start from polyps. That is why any polyp that is seen in the colon during a colonoscopy is removed and tested. And a colonoscopy would then have to be repeated in as little as 5 years.
Okay. So can colorectal cancer be cured?
Of
Being
course.
tongue-tied.
Yes. So we speak again about staging cartensia. We're talking about having stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. When we get to stage 4, we know that that's the last stage. It often spreads to a liver, or it can spread to our lungs. Okay? Those are the two main common places it's going to spread to. Most of the times it's going to appear in your liver. You know that we can't cure you at that point. We're going to do what we call palliative care. We can try to prolong your days. If you're obstructed in that time, we could do what we call a colostomy. Have you ever seen someone with a bag?
A bag, yeah.
Yes. We can divert the stool so that you're not obstructed and the tumor stays there. That is in the latter stage. We're hoping if someone were to develop colorectal cancer, we don't wish it on anyone, but if they do, it is found in an early stage, okay, where that segment of the colon can be resected, can be joined back together, and the person can go on and live a perfectly normal life without anything else. And they may follow with the need of some chemotherapy.
Okay, I think we spoke about prevention throughout this entire thing. We touched it somehow, but Doc, if you want to, let's talk about prevention.
Prevention is the same for everything almost. Man, let's exercise. Try, get on the tracks in the afternoon, get on the golf course, do your walks, try to improve your diet. These are the things we can control because we spoke about the modifiable risk factors, the ones that we can modify. Stop the smoking, Troy. Put down the cigarette.
Don't smoke. I don't smoke. But I needed to ask a question, Doc, on the smoking in terms of the marijuana. Is it different? Is there any difference between smoking marijuana and smoking cigars and cigarettes?
That's a good question, but yet a tough one, and it gets us into that because people talk about risk and benefit, and people love to tout the benefits of the marijuana, but their risk, and studies are still being done, and it's being used so much more widely. Data is still pending, but my belief, and I know that it's going to be proven true, that any type of smoke in our body was not set up to smoke. Exactly. I am not getting in any personal fights with anybody on the marijuana, but our bodies weren't set up to do that. Of course, there are risks and benefits in some of these things. And so ultimately, we've studied over longer periods of time tobacco and our cigarettes, but still pending is a lot of data on the marijuana and its effect. I would end it by saying that. So it's still pending.
For the record, I don't smoke nothing at all.
No, it's not new. I know that we have a big audience that are strong proponents of this, but I say data is still pending and science is forever evolving. So we have to make sure that we're aware of that. And so we don't want to hear 30 years from now, this is such and such, because years before we didn't have all the knowledge and the information that we do have now. Okay, so that's how I would say answer that question. The data is still out, and I would recommend if you can avoid all smoking, please do avoid that.
Okay, so Doc, final thoughts.
My final thought is always, if you can get a screening for any study, any diseases, let's get those screening done. Let's decrease the chance of persons developing this colorectal cancer. Let's decrease the chance of people developing cervical cancer. Decrease the chance of people developing breast cancer. So there are screening tests for all of these cancers, and they're very common in our society. So we need to take advantage of these screening tests. So go out and get your colonoscopy. If you have any symptoms before you're 40, you may need to have the study earlier. If you have a strong family history, you may need to have the study done earlier. But we need to get ourselves studied with these screening tests, okay? That would be my final thought.
Indeed. Powerful message. Thank you so much, Doc Osborne. See you when next you come. So that's all for today's Weekly Dose, folks. Remember, your health is your wealth. Join us next week for more practical health discussions. Stay safe.
Talk to us about the mammogram.
I'm going next month.
When?
I don't want people to know my business. I'll tell you off air. But I'm going next month. Yeah, I made the appointment. I even have it in my phone.
Okay,
so
that's good.
alarm.
So
yeah.
you're hoping, well, what do you think? People are going to come up at the center looking?
No, they're going to ask me, how was it?
Well, you're going to have to give a report when you have it.
Yeah, I will, afterwards.
It's important to let people know the reality of it, okay? All
See, it's in my phone.
Yes. Audience, I have seen the date. I'm quite aware. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Yes, we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
¿Listo para jugar pale, quiniela y tripleta? Con el juego Caribbean Numbers puedes convertir tus números favoritos en grandes premios en efectivo, hasta $20,000. Por tan solo $1, elige tus números y juega a tu manera. Quiniela, pale o tripleta, el que tú prefieras. Acierta los números ganadores y gana efectivo. Es divertido y tan fácil como 1, 2, 3. Tus números a tu manera. Es tu momento. Siente la emoción en cada jugada. Disponible en cualquier agente del Caribbean Lottery en toda la isla. Debes tener 21 años o más para jugar. Por favor, juega responsablemente.
Tire treads gone? Going bald? Don't let this be you. It's time for new tires from TDC Automotive. As the month rolls along, buy 2 or more tires and get 20% off your purchase. Get more savings and safer driving for the roads ahead. Visit TDC Automotive today at Southwell Industrial Estate in St. Kitts or Penny's Industrial Estate, Nevis. TDC Automotive, #1 for a reason. Terms and conditions apply. Offer valid while stocks last.
St. Kitts and Nevis. One day cricket is back at Water Park. West Indies women versus Australia women. We outside on March 27th, 29th, and April 2nd. Matches start at 2 p.m. and go until 9 p.m. Entry is free for everyone. Bring the entire family and let's rally with Josiah Claxton and the Maroon Warriors. We outside at Water Park. Don't miss it.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you. Join me, Percival Hanley, this coming Friday and every other Friday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon for Heritage Matters on Win Media SKN 98.9. Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
And we're back on Island T, just about 18 minutes after the hour of 9. Just to remind you folks, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have to leave early or I will not be here because of my second job. So at 9:30 today, I will no longer be in the house. I will leave it up to Troy. So just wanted to get that out early. Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning.
Morning again, Catencio. No, let's deal with thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a video with a very frustrated mother. And you can see she's very frustrated. You can hear the frustration in her voice because when it comes to children, you want the best for your kids. Now, this young woman, she is apparently her daughter has dyslexia, and she's trying to put her daughter into a private school, but they need to know the level of dyslexia the child have. And from what she was told, there's no one in the education department that can perform the test that the child needs. And there's no one on island that can perform the test because the person that used to do it retired. And I guess she was told that there's somebody that come on occasion from overseas to do it. No. Why isn't there somebody trained to do those kind of things in the education department?
Oh boy.
You would think that is something that is important because it's the child education, and this dyslexia is a very complex thing because when you think a child is not learning, poor you, if you don't have the common sense to know that there's a reason why the child is not seeing the letters or the numbers the way the regular person sees it.
I have a colleague I know that deals with children with dyslexia. I'll have to ask her but I know that's probably from the younger age, like the grassroots. But I don't know what happens thereafter. But we should.
From what the mother is saying, she's trying to put the child into a private school, but the child has dyslexia, and the school would like to know the child level of dyslexia. And she have no one. There's no one in the island to do the testing.
You see, because
so
nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to do one thing,
and
that's what I'm saying. Professional. Go ahead.
This is an excellent point, an excellent observation, Cleo. Thanks a lot. And I keep saying when we have all these scholarships coming in from Cuba, from Taiwan, and I am very grateful that we have our people going off, but I'm thinking too many persons are going medical practitioners, general practitioners, lawyers. We need people specializing in these.
But one may
areas.
argue too that's the scholarships that are being offered. But people are not even taking it on their own. Imagine if you are the only person that does that, what your market looks like. Because then people can come to you as the doctors mentioned, sometimes we have to go away for stuff, but it's like almost everything we have to go away for. And I'm being sarcastic about that because we don't have to go away for everything, but it's like we don't have the resources that we need here. And children, to me, their parents not encouraging them, well, take this path or take that path. But you can't tell them which path because they will take their own path. But I mentioned it, I say it over and over again. We need more professionals in certain areas and not just lawyers, doctors, and accountants. We need specialized people, but I don't know. Maybe our people don't see the need for these things, so they're not going to go because they just feel like I'm going to waste my time study and no money going to come in because no market there for it.
Well, let me hang up, but she's asking the Prime Minister while he on his adventure, enjoying himself, grab a doctor that specializes in dyslexia and bring him back with him.
Okay.
Especially since we're losing our Cuban doctors. We may lose our Cuban doctors.
But do we have any one of them that specializes in dyslexia?
I don't think so. I know there's some Cuban doctors of the hospital in the eye clinic. I think there might be gynecologists. But even so, Cartencia, if these are the scholarships these countries are saying are available, I'm wondering if we can't negotiate and say, hey, our need really is this or is that in this thing. Help us with even at least one or something like that. But at the end of the day, I think we have most doctors in the world per capita, most lawyers in the world per capita as well. And
okay. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. There are three things we really are deficient in, and everybody knows it. All governments know it, but they don't do anything about it.
Health.
And those three things are planning, okay? It's planning, it's prioritization, making things priority. And the third thing, I think, is maintenance. Right? There's no reason why, if there's one person who used to do it and they reach in retirement age, you can't tell me that the relevant ministry couldn't put something in place to get a replacement one way or the other. Okay? Just like what you were talking about with the mental health issues, I can't say for sure that, but I am suggesting that part of it might be staffing, okay, and prioritization, right? It's just not seen as a priority, and because of the numbers involved, there's not much pressure on, again, relevant departments to deliver in those areas. So we know those three things are we're deficient in them, and we forever talk about it. And when these issues come up, we highlight it, and it becomes even more evident, but nothing is done about it. And, that's really unfortunate. I mean, we really should not. I mean, if we say we reach practically almost first world status, then our services should reflect that, okay? And we should not have to be dealing with issues like this on an ad hoc basis. It should be well planned. These things should be prioritized, and the planning and everything should be in place to make sure that we don't have to be coming every year after year with the same problem. Okay? All right.
Thank you for your contributions. And as I said, we need to have varied professionals. And I hope someone listening can think about this and go into it as a profession. And for the mom, I was just looking for something and I saw something on dyslexia, ida.org, and there's a test there that says, do I have dyslexia? And I guess the person can take the test, then you submit the test, and then it says, click here for additional self-assessment tools specific to preschoolers, school-age children, and adults, and to find a potential source in your area. Oh boy, that's not in our area. So this is in the U.S. to search for a list of providers. So I would recommend you go on that site, you do the test, and you work from there, and hopefully someone that's listening is going to take up this profession because there is a market for it. So once again, it's dyslexia, so dyslexia.ida.org, and the information is there just to lend a little help for now until you can get the professional help that you need.
But a big point here, Cartensia, according to Cleo, is the recognition. Because if I, as a teacher, I am not aware of this or how to identify it, I might just think the student is giving a tough time or something like that, not being able to recognize it and work.
But from your experiences being a teacher, how do you recognize students that are slow? Because some of the questions here say, do you read slowly? Did you have trouble learning how to read when you were in school? I guess this is for adults. Do you often have to read something 2 or 3 times before it makes sense? Are you uncomfortable reading out loud, etc., etc.? So how, with your experience, how did you identify a student that was not as fast as the other student?
Well, to put it in perspective, I taught between 1981 and 83.
See, once nobody in there was nobody in there was lagging behind.
Yes, there were, but I'm thinking now, going back then, I thought, well, you're just a little slower than the others. I didn't think about any kind of dyslexia or anything like that. So obviously, I had to be a little slower with the pace. And I often say, when you're teaching a class with, say, 20 children, you have to have 21 or 22 different ways of saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Because as simple as you may make it, you think children may not necessarily understand. And if you understand something this way, it doesn't necessarily mean I will understand it the same way. And that is why I believe there should be 21 or 22 ways of teaching a class of 20.
Carla, go ahead. You're live in Island T. Good morning.
But back then too, in the 80s, let me put it another way. We only really started hearing about dyslexia, Down syndrome, and all these other kind of things as of recently, 10, 15, 20 years ago.
That we missed Friday. We were supposed to wear our socks. I don't miss my socks. I don't understand how I missed Friday. Because Friday was World Dyslexia Day. Caller, go ahead. You're live in Island T. Good morning.
Really started hearing about dyslexia.
Caller, go ahead. You're live in Island T.
Yes, morning. What he named said exactly what I was going to say. Back then, we didn't know nothing about dyslexia. You just thought the child was dumb.
Oh, jeez, you gotta say it so rough.
But it's the truth.
I know. See, I was trying. You see, I was trying to use careful words. But it's the truth. It's the truth.
They just pronounce you dumb, not knowing that you have a deficiency.
Yeah, exactly.
And you recommend that the mother go on the site, but I don't think going on the site is the problem. The problem is the school need a certified document.
No, remember I say it's just I understand clear, but I just say a little help for her for now until she can get the professional. No, Lord, no.
I don't think that's going to help her. I don't think that's going to help her.
So you don't even think doing the little test on the site going to help her?
No, because it's like the school is who want the documents, so she needs it for the school, so the child could get into the school.
But what if she does all the tests and it proves that the child has it?
But
couldn't it be a little?
I think she already know that. I think what she's saying that I think she already know the child have dyslexia. They need to know the level of dyslexia.
Okay, the level. Okay, got you. Okay.
Alrighty.
Thank you for the clarification. But yeah, that's how we was, just because we used to call people mad.
Yeah.
That wasn't cool. People not mad. They're mentally unstable. We grew up.
And then
how were we so savage?
Girl, we were brutal,
Yeah.
And heckling.
Yeah.
We used to heckle people, but heckling today is now called bullying.
Bullying, yeah.
Because when you heckle somebody, especially if they don't like it, Cartensia, you really heckle them to the earth. And in some cases, people cried. And everybody laughed. And it was cool.
Fight and behave like how we behave now.
Yes, but
you can't make joke with people.
I think we've becoming, I don't want to use the word more educated, but our thinking or education has been expanded. But I am thinking of a suggestion that Cleo is making on the linely about, apart from the different levels of dyslexic, I'm wondering if we don't need a school for children who is suffering with that. And just like how we have grade 1, grade 2.
Isn't that what Cotton Thomas helps with as well?
I am not certain.
I think
that might be part of it, but I don't think it is all about that, just that. Because if you have different
But
levels...
I don't think they have a specialized class for that. How about that?
But then, based on what Cleo is saying, there are different levels. So, if Tom is at level 1 and Mary is at level 3, should the two of them be in the same class?
Maybe not. I will find out. I'll try my best to do some investigation.
It'll be nice, but the Cotton Thomas, I think it's a broad-based thing as opposed to being specific, but that's something we could probably have one of the teachers there or the head teacher on the show one of these days.
Okay, I'm going to take this call and then I really have to run. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Yes, it's me again. I don't think you need a whole school for that. I think you just need a special class or you need a teacher because like up here, right, you would have 2 teachers in one class. And one teacher will focus on the children that need the most help. So that teacher is there to help that students that need the most help. And then you have the other teacher that go on with the other kids. Because sometimes you don't want to segregate kids because then they feel away. That is why up here they don't really try so much to say, well, separate the kids. They more have somebody there that is there to focus on them and to help them so they feel a part of the class. They're in the class, they feel a part of the class, but they have a teacher that is there just for them.
That's a good point, Cleo. Thanks a lot for clarifying it.
All righty.
Yeah, but I want to feel that they have them segregated in different classes at the Cotton Thomas. But as you say, until we get the information, we can't be sure. And yeah, I'm just assuming. But I would like to think so. Because everybody up there, I don't think they learn at the same pace. Because they all have different disabilities. That I don't even want to say disabilities. They all have different challenges. Thank you. Because I don't. Yeah, words were words that we shouldn't use back then, and we use them. But even us to heckling the person that we call crazy back then, they never lash out at us or behave a type of way. They would do, and you move because you want to get hit, but they never come back for you and really try to hurt you, pelt stone. They never did all of that. This is a different breed of people.
Yes, more aggressive physically.
Yeah. Well, Troy, this is where I have to really run and leave you. We have a next caller. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T.
So, Cotton here, did I hear you say that you're no longer going to be on the show on Tuesdays and Thursdays?
No, is that I have, because JetBlue has changed its time of coming in.
Oh.
I have to go to work earlier. But I'll be there. Okay. Thursday, I won't be. But... Yeah, I'm going to be here. Don't worry. But on Tuesdays, I have to leave at 9:30. And this Thursday, I won't be in because I have an early morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Troy, talking about all those things, but the whole language has changed up. You remember Duke had a song from Trinidad, the whole thing changed up?
Yes, I didn't know you.
Because now, once ago, you would call a person blind. You no longer say blind. You say they're visually impaired.
Yep.
And now, if they're not disabled, they're physically challenged.
Yes.
Or differently abled.
We need a topic on that because even the computer language changed too.
Yeah.
IDK, I don't know. We need to have a topic on that because it's so interesting.
Yeah.
So Cotton, take care. So where's Queen? He was on Voices yesterday?
Yes, he was.
Oh, so you just take a break from the tea. Maybe the tea too hot now.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay. I'll listen till the end.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. All right, Granny, have a good one, hon. Yeah, but that's true. How we spoke back then and how we speak now is different.
Completely
and people are
different.
more aware of what is happening, and they want to be referred to as such, and you don't call them anything out of the norm or temperaments are no longer tolerable. We snap very easily. And yeah, we're living in a different world.
Very thin-skinned. Calypsonian had a song "Thin Skin" in the Carnival Sugar Mask on there. But we are people,
oh boy.
The best way to handle what we call heckling was to smile and say it's all right, and that's the end of that.
Or move away. Yeah, we did move away. And be gone. Not now.
But yeah, and we have to be very, very careful with how we approaching children because of these different things.
Yep.
And because when they go home and they tell their parents, some parents may take it the wrong way. Some may get really hyper, really active.
Yep.
And we just have to be extremely careful in life.
Yeah. So, can we take a break so I could jet?
Yes, definitely.
Folks, see you later.
Thanks for being here this morning, and enjoy the balance of your day.
I will try to.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it. Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it.
You can dunk it, you look it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. You can dunk it, you look it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. Anytime, whatever time, it's tea time. Whatever time, it's tea time. Snack on a delicious tea time biscuit anytime. It's tea time.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I come in Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are any exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
This message is sponsored by the Australian Government, AusAid, and produced by NEMA in collaboration with WinFM.
It's in Nevis. One day cricket is back at Waterpark. West Indies women versus Australia women. We outside on March 27, 29 and April 2nd. Matches start at 2 p.m. and go until 9 p.m. Entry is free for everyone. Bring the entire family and let's rally with Josiah Claxton and the Maroon Warriors. We outside at Waterpark. Don't miss it.
Got itchy palms? That's a sign. Money could be coming your way with Scratch and Win from Caribbean Lottery. It's the easiest way to win instantly. No waiting, no fuss. With tickets starting from just $2 up to $20. Win over $35 million in prizes. The higher the price, the bigger the prize. So scratch today for your chance to win up to $200,000. Available at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 years and older to play.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Tire treads gone? Going bald? Don't let this be you. It's time for new tires from TDC Automotive. As the month rolls along, buy 2 or more tires and get 20% off your purchase. Get more savings and safer driving for the roads ahead. Visit TDC Automotive today at Southwell Industrial Estate in St. Kitts or Penny's Industrial Estate Nevis. TDC Automotive, #1 for a reason. Terms and conditions apply. Offer valid while stocks last.
Got itchy palms? That's a sign. Money could be coming your way with Scratch and Win from Caribbean Lottery. It's the easiest way to win instantly. No waiting, no fuss. With tickets starting from just $2 up to $20. Win over $35 million in prizes. The higher the price, the bigger the prize. So scratch today for your chance to win up to $200,000. Available at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 years and older to play.
Welcome back to Island Tea here on WinFM 98.9. And we have a caller online. Let's go to the caller. Say good morning, caller. Welcome. You're live on Island Tea. Hello. I think we lost that caller. But Contentia, she has to slip off. So I'm going to be holding it down for the next few minutes. And we await your calls. And that topic with the children, I think it's a very critically important topic. And not just dyslexia, just when it was on yesterday or Friday, I think it was Down Syndrome Day, and the children, they were marching to and through the Bastille region with the pretty socks, colored socks. As we have a caller, we go to the caller and say, good morning, caller. You're live on Island Tea. Welcome.
No, yeah, try it me. You know, just to piggyback on weekly dose, Dr. Osborne, she talked about the gentleman that came in her office and all that he was experiencing. You know, try our stomach operate like an incubator. It stores, especially solid food. Try. Now, I've said before that, and try, I don't want to take you away from what you're putting there.
No, that's all right, sir.
Just bear with me for a minute. When we read Genesis 1 say, God gave us herb for meat.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis 1 says, God created male and female in his image and likeness. Bless us and give us herb for meat. Genesis 2 says, Lord God created Adam, and it went into a brief elaboration as how Adam was created. Genesis 1, where God created male and female, no elaboration to that creation. Are you following me, Troy?
Yes, I am following you, sir.
Now, later down in the book, it says that the children, they were getting manna that fell from heaven, and then in Egypt, they were getting spice and herbs and all of that until they made their exodus, and then God tell them to roast their meat and eat it without the blood. Now try. Does God make a mistake?
No, I don't think so.
Herb for meat. And then, later down, eat your meat with... Try. Bear in mind, right, that the literature of the book, that the writers who claim they were wholly inspired, look at their genetic makeup, Troy. They are more like carnivores. They eat their meat with blood. So to tell us now in their literature, Troy, that you must roast your meat, when Genesis 1 said the Most High gave us herb for meat, then when you look at the continent of Africa, Troy, what is herb for meat? Seed-bearing fruits. When you look at the continent of Africa, as to Europe, there's hardly any, the variety of foods that is within the continent of Africa, as to the Europe, can you see that these people that wrote what they claim they were wholly inspired to write, that they copied from, which was our originality, and put us in a book now, Troy? When you look at everything that we have as a people today, politics, religion, education, everything that is outside of ourselves, it is external.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you think that these people want us to know who we were? Because we are stuck in a book, Troy. We are stuck in this book. They are not going to educate us to come to be. Because they took the knowledge from us, but they polluted it. They whitewashed it, as some people would say. They polluted our sacred civilization because there's no civilization in Europe, neither from the Greek, the Romans, to what we now have, we call Caucasian. They are all the same people, Troy. They just changed names, and they from Romans to Greek to Europeans, they are all the same. The Vatican, the Church of England. Now, what makes us think that these people who have unalived, slaughtered our ancestors that came into our space, envied our civilization, and now put us in a book? A book, Troy, as if we had no identity. We have to convert. We have to become. Are you following me, Troy?
Yes, I am.
No, I'm saying this to tell our people, Troy, we are the orality of everything. We are the seed. They've been reaping the harvest, Troy. I said to Quint yesterday, we are the seed. We are the tree that bends but never breaks. Look at Europe and America, how they're exploiting the continent. But they put all of that in a book and tell us Esau gave up the birthright and Jacob received the blessing. Try these, whether you choose to call them symbolism, metaphor, or whatever, these are esoteric teaching that these are not the surface. These teachings are deep. But the Christian community in the black African man, woman, and child, if you will, they goes into a church and they listen to what the preacher say or the pastor. But how many of them do read for themselves, Troy? Because right now, church is just a show, a fashion show. Who have on the highest heels, who have on the better looking dress, and they go and they just say hallelujah, amen, amen. Oh my, amen, Troy. In Jesus' name, the blood of Jesus. When so much blood of our ancestors have still on the earth at the hands of those who gave us the literature in the book, Troy. But we are stuck. We are stuck, and we are lacking knowledge of self. You know, Dr. Osborne says that she mostly consumes fish. But flesh, Troy, flesh, whether it is fish, chicken, beef, pork, whatever, it breaks the body down. Over time, when we are young, our immune system is strong. But over time, the damage is building up. Try, I've worked in the steakhouse. I consume red meat. I couldn't get enough of it. Today, if I see it on a plate, it makes me sick. So my eating, and try, I don't use the word diet, my eating habits now is just beans and vegetables.
So are you saying, caller, that technically one should be a vegan?
Herbs for me, try. Herbs for me, it is enough for me. Now, we were conditioned, you know. We were conditioned, and it is deep because it has gone through generations. Now, look at our food import, Troy. Are we not aware of what certain philanthropists is doing now, trying to buy up land in America, in Africa? I asked you last week, are you familiar with Seedco or Monsanto? You said no, but do your research, Troy.
Yes, I definitely have to.
But you see, Troy, our foods are coming from abroad. Look at our vegetation today. Here on St. Kitts and Nevis, where is our sugar apple? Where is our breadfruit? Where
Custard
is
apple,
our
mansiport?
Mansiport, our locust, our maca? Where are our mangoes? Soursop, papaya.
Even bread nuts.
You go to the market on a Saturday. You can, like Saturday, I ask, what fruit is in season right now? What fruit is in?
That's a good question.
Our bananas are coming from outside. And these bananas are so different to what, you know, Troy? And here's the thing, right? The Prime Minister now is making I don't want to say he's making a gateway, because 2021 we had our first inaugural flight from Lagos to Antigua. even had to go to Europe or America. 9 hours try across the Atlantic. You know what become of that gateway try? Over 200 Africans came 2021 from Lagos to Antigua. It was to be a tourist initiative. They come, we go in a week, like an exchange. But when they were looking for those who came from the continent to go back, over 200 Africans, they couldn't be found. So that gateway is closed. But here the Prime Minister now is there. And what are they doing with agriculture, Joy?
Well, I'm hoping that will all be part of the project, because remember the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Samuel Duggins, he's there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, let us keep hope alive, Troy, because you see, the future, we are here. We are the present, and we have to provide for the future. The younger ones, or even the unborn. But when you look at it, Troy, you go to the supermarket on a Friday or Saturday, and a mother, a woman might be there, and she's pregnant, she puts in a cart, and in that cart you see Cheetos, you see Vienna sausage, you see, I mean, it is sad. It is sad to see that even the unborn is already being conditioned within the womb. We are not feeding ourselves, Troy. You see how deep this is?
Yeah.
It is deep, Troy.
It is.
But we accept Christianity, we accept their curriculum, we accept politics, because our politicians, they are not leading us. They are going along to get along, Troy. We're in a state, you know. We're in a state, and if we don't wake up and become aware of our reality, you know, as Bob Marley said, many more will perish. Many more will suffer. We got to change our eating habits, Troy.
Definitely, we have to.
The land is lying waste. The whole of St. Kitts from sugar cane, the land is lying waste, and agriculture is a mess. And there's no culture outside of agriculture, Troy.
Well, you're
hearing me, Troy.
Yeah, thank you for calling, caller. We appreciate that. And that caller just mentioned the land is lying, and I think there's a situation where land is being thought about, let me put it that way, by the government in terms of for building homes. And chances are there will have to be that discussion between the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Sustainable Development on which lands, identifying which lands should be used for what. This area is used for housing, this area, that will be used for agriculture. Let us go and pay some bills, go downtown, take a break, stick and stay, don't go away. We will be right back with Island Tea here on WinFM 98.9.
Found the sound 98.9.
Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it. Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it.
You can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. You can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. Anytime, whatever time. It's tea time. Whatever time. It's tea time. Snack on a delicious tea time biscuit anytime. It's tea time.
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune into On The Ball, a weekly talk show which is on WinFM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Biff Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On The Ball with Troy Biff Mills on WinFM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.
Tickets in Nevis. One day cricket is back at Waterpark. West Indies women versus Australia women. We outside on March 27, 29th and April 2nd. Matches start at 2 p.m. and go until 9 p.m. Entry is free for everyone. Bring the entire family and let's rally with Josiah Claxton and the Maroon Warriors. We outside at Waterpark. Don't miss it.
Easter is a season of fresh starts, new plans, and moments worth celebrating. This year, crack open extra funds with a TDC Financial Services Easter loan with up to $50,000 available to help you do more this season. Whether you're planning Easter activities, taking care of home projects, traveling to see loved ones, or simply giving yourself some breathing room, TDC Financial Services is here to help. Enjoy affordable rates, fast approvals, and flexible repayment options, all designed to make borrowing easy and stress-free. So don't let your plans stay in the shell. Crack open extra funds with TDC Financial Services today. Apply at TDC Financial Services on Central Street in Bastille, St. Kitts, or Main Street in Charlestown, Nevis. TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Time is really flying away. We go into the lines and we say good morning to this caller. Welcome to Island T Caller. You're live. Hello. Okay, we lost that caller. We probably have time for one brief caller if you care to call in. It's now 22 minutes to 10 o'clock. And we have perhaps our last caller. Caller, can you make it extremely brief? Welcome to Island to Your Live.
Yes, Biff. I'm going to make this extremely brief. Number one, historically and traditionally, you go way back in African history, Africans have always been meat eaters, flesh eaters. It is the Europeans who have been pushing vegetarianism, not Africans. And
so are you saying eating meat is a good thing and being a vegetarian is a bad thing? Are you suggesting that?
I'm not suggesting that vegetarianism is a bad thing, but meat eating is definitely a good thing because it is both biblical and science has also shown eating meat in its proper proportions is also very good as well.
Okay, so
but what I'm saying is that Africans, traditionally and historically, you go way, way, way back in the history, have always been meat eaters. This vegetarian thing is been pushed by Europeans, and God tell Noah after the flood in Genesis 9 verses 3
15
and 4,
seconds, caller.
all flesh I've given you to eat, that creep on the earth, in the same book of Genesis, by the same author. So Johnny should always read things in context and be truthful. For right now, he's twisting the truth to his own destruction.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, caller. Thank you for calling in. That was actually our last call. We are over time, I should say. It's already past 10 o'clock. It's 1 minute. And I do thank you for being here with us this morning on Island T. I thank my hosts, my guest Cartencia, and of course you, the callers, for calling in and being with us. Join us again tomorrow morning, God's Spear, at 8 o'clock, bright and early, where we'll have more topics, more hot topics, what is happening. We've had some reports coming out of the Prime Minister's visit to Abuja in Africa, and I know Bucky, my good friend Bucky, got it. He is there live on the spot, and he's sending out his report, so you would know he is there. And I saw him looking very sharp indeed in his suit. Hey, Bucky, hope you're enjoying yourself. And I know the drumming specialist in the Department of Creative Economy wide, Richards, drumming officer Chevron Matthew, and I saw MJ Byron there as well. Hope they're enjoying themselves. And of course, folks, be safe. So thank you to all the sponsors for coming on board here at Island T on WinFM 98.9. And we now going to turn you over to our regular programming. Stick and stay. Don't go away. Join us again for our next edition of Island Tea tomorrow morning. God's Spear. Thank you to all the sponsors for coming on board here at Island Tea on winnfm 90.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.